All right. So we're recording on, we do have some slides to look at least for a little while. So I'm going to turn those on. Y'all let me know. Can everybody see this? This is not the page it's supposed to be on though. So let me go back to the beginning. But can people see my screen? Yeah? Mariza?
Oh yeah, I can see it.
Awesome. Let me go back to slide 1.
Voila.
Here we are.
I know this talk.
So this is Mariza's presentation, and then I made a few edits because you're hearing it from me. But yeah, Mariza, let's get started here. Here's you. Tell us about your journey. You have your own journey of messed up hormones and how you got them fixed. Let's start off here talking about that.
Oh my goodness, absolutely the truth. I have had a epic journey in terms of I've come from the throes of hormone chaos back to getting my body back on track. And this kind of happened about a decade ago when I basically, coming from this belief that as a woman, my worth was defined by how busy I was, how much I gave to everyone else, and how little priority I had given to myself. And I had been living this way of life for quite some time. And it was when I was in practice, I was taking care of these amazing patients, these women who really were dealing with a lot of the same issues that I was dealing with. And I woke up one day, mind you, I had had a lot of other symptoms, but this was kind of like the bottom. And I always like to say that, you can't go any further than the ground. Like once you're on the floor, it's really hard to go further than that. And that's really what it felt like. I woke up one day and I literally could not lift my head up off the pillow. I was so exhausted. And I remember practically crawling to the bathroom to brush my teeth, take a shower, get ready. And I remember looking in the mirror and seeing a very different person. Like it wasn't the woman that I knew. And I felt like such a phony. I felt so embarrassed, a lot of shame, because here I was, a doctor taking care of patients, dealing with the same issues that I was dealing with. And here I am, unable to take care of myself. And that was that big moment where I knew something needed a shift. And, I looked back at the lineage of my family, and we have a picture of my mom coming up, but I struggle with hormone issues. My mom struggled with hormone issues, my sister and my grandma. I mean, it really was not only, there's my mama, not only hormones that we were dealing with, but we all really held onto that same belief, which was, everyone first and us last. And because we already had kind of hormone chaos hardwiring, I guess you could say, and and then on top of just really the way that we were living our lifestyle, it cost us a lot. And one of my favorite stories to share was when my mom had finally come to me, and she was in the middle of menopause, perimenopause, menopause, and her symptoms had taken a really big turn for the worse. She had severe depression. She had been put on bioidentical hormones and they were not serving her. She was getting sicker. I remember her calling me and I could hear the fear in her voice. I could hear that something was very, very wrong. And it was all about specifically, the solution that her doctor had given her was not a solution. It was not helping. And she was like, Mariza, what do I do? And I used so much of the lifestyle changes that I had made several years back. I basically took over my mom's healthcare. I put her on a protocol, which I know I'll get to share at the end. This protocol involved lifestyle, it involved nutrition, it involved oils, and we ultimately had to get her off of those bioidenticals because they were just not serving her. And over the course of 3 months, she dropped 25 pounds. She had more energy. She was sleeping better. She wasn't dealing with her insomnia. But most importantly, that devastating depression that she was experiencing, it was gone. And that transformation to be a part of was such a big deal, was so huge. And I'm just so grateful that, what we're going to be talking about today, number one, how oils played a major role in that healing process, not only for myself, but most importantly for my mom, is what I'm really excited to connect about today.
Awesome. And this is what we're going to be covering. I kind of have control of your slides. So
Yeah.
just tell me if you want to go
I'm just like,
ahead.
hands off.
I was like, going to email you. Do you want me to send you these before we go?
Girl,
Like,
I'm good.
okay, let's keep it simple. So this is what we're going to cover today, some foundational habits. We're, of course, going to talk about oils, but we're also going to talk about food and some supplements and some things, specific to thyroid and certain like hormone conditions. So let's just get going. Here's a little testimonial about. You want
Yeah.
to speak to this one, Mariza?
Absolutely. So I worked with Kathy a couple years back, and very much the same situation. She came to me with severe chronic fatigue, and I know what that feels like. And she had cravings, she had night sweats. She was really kind of going through menopause, but her body she was really having a hard time. And so she reached out to me. She had tried a lot of other things. She had tried other synthetic hormones, and nothing was really working for her. Super frustrated. And she wanted not only for this process to be, well, clearly for her to get the results that she deserved, but she wanted it to be joyful. She wanted to have a really good time doing it. And so that was a big part of this. And that's why I love oils. She talks about, Dr. Marisa's premise was simple: use oils, nutrition, and key supplements to support overall well-being. She followed my protocols for at least 60 days. And what I was super excited to see was in that first 30 days, in particular, she had more energy. Her cravings were gone. That was a huge thing for her that she was trying to get under control. And she was only having night sweats a couple times a month. And then I think I checked in with her at 90 days as well. And I was just so happy to see such a massive transformation that Kathy had gone through, but also coming from a place where she really just didn't know if anything was going to work for her again. And I was so grateful to be a part of that journey with her.
Yeah, I just want to share a quick thing here is that, if you've been following me a while, we do functional medicine, and Mariza was trained in that too. But I just found that, functional medicine has a big price tag, and not everyone's ready for the degree of like commitment and testing. And really a lot of why I was like, I want to sell more essential oils and supplements is because I know that simpler things can make changes for folks. And, that you might not be ready for testing for a lot of different reasons. For one is if you haven't gone through the basics, don't waste your time. Just work on diet and lifestyle and do these simple things. So it's awesome to see that it can make such a difference.
Absolutely. And that has been the big thing for me is how do we create those simple wins? How do we create those instant wins that are really going to create the sustainable changes that so many of us are looking for, right? And oils really are that gateway to making that happen. Oh, this is a good one. So you want to get into this, Bridget, a little bit?
Yeah, this
I
poor
know this.
lady. It's like, I feel like this is, when you describe your early practice, like, I mean, sometimes I feel like we try to look like we have it all together, but like
You
you
mean like
know,
I showered and put.
we try to look like we had it all going on, but really, we have all these symptoms going on. We're just not sleeping well. We're crabby. We don't want to have sex. Like, we're going to sugar all the time. So these symptoms have become really common, and this like fast-paced world, and our food is so deficient. So, and really, all these things are hormones, and that's why I think so many of people in my community, and Mariza, yours as well, they're just saying, I know something's off with my hormones. And they're absolutely right. They may not know what it is exactly, but they know it's something.
Intuition is powerful. Knowing your body is so important. And if something doesn't feel right, it isn't right.
Yeah.
Despite whatever doctor told you, especially whatever male doctor may have told you, right? Listen to your body. You know it better than he does. That's for sure.
Yeah, and then some of these things have been like, we kind of think they're common. Oh, everyone's tired. Oh, everyone's overweight. But it is a sign of imbalance. So yeah, I would look over this. Is it any of these things or all of these things, sound like you, and we'll kind of correlate that to some symptoms and imbalances later as we go. So I think that whether we're more natural or more conventional, when we feel off, we do tend to want to the easy way out, like a pill to make it go away quickly. And I know some people are in a hormone replacement. In my practice, I barely use hormones. I just use a little progesterone. I just feel like it can be a little too strong and have some of their own side effects, at least in my body. Um, and then certainly people are being prescribed antidepressants and birth control. I've had clients over 50 still on birth control because the doctor's like, oh, well,
Kept them on it. Yeah.
it'll manage your period. It'll keep your periods away. What have you seen, Mariza?
Same thing. And it's blown me away how often I've seen women on birth control into their 50s, well after menopause. And I'm like, well, how is this happening? And it just feels very negligent, in my
Yeah.
opinion. If there's a way, one of my I love to talk about is how you can balance hormones without hormones. And I mean, without synthetic hormones. So if indeed you can avoid the prescriptions, I mean, none of us want to be on prescription. And I absolutely agree with you, Bridget. Progesterone, a little bit of progesterone was pretty much all I was recommending. And, I didn't feel really comfortable. I know I myself, I've never done well on synthetic hormones ever, ever, ever.
Yeah.
It's just never been the way that I've healed my body naturally.
Yeah, yeah. There's and one thing I like about oils too is I think even people don't even really like to take pills, so it's like
No.
you can use oils to just have an experience without having to take a handful of pills. Okay, $1 million question: what are hormones, Mariza?
They are chemical messengers that elicit changes in the body. And we're talking about practically everything in the body. Hormones do get a bad rap. I have a lot to blame. I feel like I play a role in that, talking about, have you been hijacked by your hormones? But these chemical messengers, they are responding to external stimulus. So the things that are going on in our life, and our lives are busy, they're crazy. And, our hormones are just trying to like mitigate the scenario of what's going on. And they're basically making changes based on what's happening with us. And so, there are a lot of things that can throw our hormones out of whack. And it's definitely most likely that you have some hormones that are not 100% in balance, but just know that they're there to serve you cognitively, reproductive wise, metabolically. I mean, emotionally, there are so many great benefits. And even though they may feel out of balance, there's still a lot of great things that they're doing for you. We want to make sure that you are working at peak function. That's what we're here to do. How do we bring you back to function where those hormones are humming and singing like a fine-tuned machine? And that's really what we want to talk about today.
Nice. All right. Well, this is how we all want to look, right?
I want to
These
channel in my
gorgeous
Farrah Fawcett.
All right, let's get into what are the Charlie's Angels of hormones.
Well, let's get into it. So we'll go to the next slide as well, because
Okay.
I think we go right into it. So the first of the Charlie's Angels is cortisol. And cortisol is a major player, right? We hear so much about cortisol. It's the big survival hormone. It is in control of a lot of our processes. And when we're talking about these three hormones, we'll drop down to the next one, which I believe is our thyroid hormones. They're playing a major role too with our metabolism, our body temperature, but really, I mean, allowing us to have that energy that we have. They're kind of our thermostat, creating homeostasis in the body. And then the last one is the cluster of estrogen hormones. And when these three sets of hormones are working together, because don't think that they work independently. I mean, these three sets of hormones are all working together, and they're working with your gut, they're working with your immune system, they're all playing a big role in how you are feeling. And if that three-legged stool isn't setting up right, you're going to find that things begin to tip, right? And we began to see that cortisol could have a devastating effect on thyroid and estrogen, or that thyroid can have a profound effect on how our estrogens metabolize. And so there's a lot of interconnected pieces here, but we know that these are a lot of the hormones that you're mindful of and that you're concerned with as well. This is an area that I really wanted to focus coming up in just a moment.
Great. Quick poll. Are you ready for safer, cheaper, and more effective healthcare solutions? I personally, I've spent a lot of money on a lot of doctors. If you've listened to my podcast, you know that's true. So I think we all are. Anything you want to say about this slide, Mariza?
I remember being there. I remember deciding that, I was sick and tired of being sick and tired, and I wanted something more natural. And for us, when it comes to essential oils, they literally made over our entire medicine cabinet. So when I think about, digestive support or headaches or just, neck pain, I woke up, I had slept wrong last night, and I have an oil for that. I got an oil for all of it. Right. And so that's really what it is I think a lot of us are really ready for something different than what we've been prescribed. And I feel like for me, I wanted to feel empowered to take care of my family in my own home. I didn't want to have to necessarily rely on synthetic drugs or over the counter medicine that I knew inherently in my heart of hearts wasn't serving my family. And I'm so grateful that we found oils, because this is what we use. I mean, we're leaving for Europe tomorrow, and guess what? We're taking a big old bag of oils with us. We're not taking pills. We're not, we're taking some supplements.
It's so funny. I did a little video on I went to Mexico a couple months ago, and I did bring a couple supplements, but I brought a lot of oils, like for sunburn, for, gut stuff, that, stuff in the water. Like, I brought it all, and it felt really good. I really agree with that statement.
And it's easy. Here's one of our little bags that we're going to be bringing with us. But yeah, Alex, my husband and I, and we're just making sure we're checking off the list of the oils. So we're getting ready for that.
Okay, well, I know we got a lot of slides to cover, so
yeah, we
let's
do.
get into this foundational 5.
And we can move through those pretty quickly.
Okay.
So number 1, so foundational 5, this is, I know, and Bridget and you and I have connected about this many times over the years, but really what's the thing to work on first? What is that 80% that's really going to get you to where you want to go? Number 1, hydration is a must. We inherently know when we're not fully hydrated. So making sure that you have your water bottle with you, do water infusions, whatever kind of gets you excited for drinking more water, and just making sure that it's a priority, so that our hormones are humming, that our body is functioning properly. So that's number 1.
Okay. Sorry, I just wanted to check in. I had a couple people telling me they can't hear anything, but
oh no,
I'm not sure. If you are hearing, can you please write in? Because I know I did a sound check in the beginning, but maybe it's good to check again. Do check your local settings. Jeanette, I said the same to Sherry. Sometimes you have the wrong.
okay, Jeanette's good now.
She's good. Sometimes it's
okay, wonderful.
Sweet. It's always good to check, because I don't want to just stare at the slides and then wonder what's going on. And neglect you guys. So yeah, hydration, I totally agree, is so important. I would ask my clients how many glasses of water, and some would say, oh, I drink so much water, but a lot of them would be like, oh, I don't know, 2 or 3 glasses. So it just helps with detox, right? And that helps keeps our hormones happy.
Next, this is a no-brainer, and we're going to get into the more nuts and bolts of this, but I mean, clearly we all know that nutrition is foundational in what we do, but also not only is it important for what we are eating, but also what is being left on the table. Like, what are we not eating that could not be serving us? So we'll talk a little bit about what are the things that damage our hormones over time when it comes to food.
Yeah, no one wants to hear this, because I think especially in perimenopause, women get a little bit addicted to wine and coffee, and those things are impacting us. So it's important to know.
And then exercise, right? And this is really, it's not a particular regimen. It's not a particular, I'm not advocating that you got to do something very specific. For me, it's really just about moving your body. We know that motion is life, and motion plays such a major role in how our hormones are functioning, but also in our mood, our cognitive function, our heart health. There's just, oh my gosh, I could just shout the benefits of exercise from the mountaintops all day long. And I just really, what we want to advocate is, that you are moving your body to some degree. Get in where you fit in. Make sure that you're doing something that you love, especially, as it's warming up right now. It's a good time to get outside. But there are great oils for this. Wild orange, peppermint are great oils for giving yourself an energy boost. And then there's also great supplements that really can get the job done, to kind of really get you going as well. But those are 2 of my favorite go-to energy supplements, or energy oils.
Yeah, we'll cover that. And I think exercise, the Goldilocks rule is true. I see some women just pretty much abusing themselves at the gym 5 days a week, and their hormones aren't strong enough to handle it. So they're not losing weight, and they're not sleeping well. So sometimes it's just, taking a 20-minute vigorous walk if that's where you're at. Sometimes you do have to cut back. But then on the other side, I remember when I was very sick with mold, I could barely move. And the doctor told me, you really have to move. You have to, because you're actually stimulating cellular repair and destruction of, damaged cells when you move. So I really, made myself, and sometimes again, it was only 5 minutes or, being very vigorous for a short time, but it does matter. It does matter.
This is the big one, right? I think when I think about essential oils, I'm just so grateful that you can manage stress with oils. And it's really about using them daily and becoming self-aware. And we're going to have some tricks on how to manage stress with oils in just a moment.
Yeah, and this we're getting into the meat of it, because we've all been told a million times, don't be stressed out. It's bad for your health. But it's like, how do you calm down from stress? And some people don't like to meditate, or just aren't experienced with it or whatever. So essential oils are a really powerful way to calm your body. So fun.
And then the big one, this is really your area of expertise, Bridget, but helping to reduce your toxic load and why that's so important.
So important. Yeah. My audience is very aware, so I really appreciate that. But like anything that says fragrance on it is disrupting your hormones. Anything you're, interacting with plastic is pretty much disrupting your hormones. It's, I've been learning a lot lately, and it's not good news. I'll tell you that. So really, awareness is really important, and it's amazing how many things that are dangerous you can replace with your own essential oil recipes. So pretty cool. All
And
right.
then we go dive into eating right for your hormones specifically. And, this is, for me, and I know we are aligned on this as well, but, making sure that we get a lot of those good plants into our diet. Such a big part of every single meal should have, a plant focus on top of the good fiber, and then your healthy fats, your lean proteins. I mean, that's the crux really of eating for your hormones.
Yeah, I love this Eat the Rainbow. I think people, especially, oh my gosh, it's so annoying. I like, oh, don't eat carbs, only eat fat. It's like we're just kind of focusing on the wrong thing. I think too much is those are the macronutrients, right? And then there's the micronutrients like B vitamins and vitamin C. And then there's even something else, these phytonutrients. There's so many, we can't even keep track of them. And we need to get all those phytonutrients in all these vegetables. It's so important, and it really does support your hormone as well. It's what your body really recognizes, and it really lights up lights up your body cells, so to speak.
Healthy fats, definitely want to be feeding those neurons. Want to be feeding. I mean, fat did get such a bad rap for so long, and we are learning that healthy fats are just so important. All of it's important. We need good healthy carbs. We need healthy fats. We need lean proteins. I mean, all these macros, they're important because they do. I mean, they're macronutrients because we need them in the body. But just make sure that you're focusing on the good fats, not so much some of the not so good fats out there. And these are, again, olive oil, coconut oil, avocado, salmon, flaxseed, walnuts. These are all what I consider to be really healthy fats.
Yeah, so fats build your hormones, and they also modulate inflammation. So if you're getting headaches at your period, or you're having PMS or cramps, um, even things like hot flashes, like the fats are so nourishing. So when we talk about feeding the hormones, fats and fiber are really important. And then like you sometimes like you think, oh well, I'm doing a good job, but think about how often you're eating at a restaurant, or eating something from a package, because all that stuff is cheap canola oil. So sometimes you have to dig a little deeper. Oh, where am I getting a little too many bad fats too?
And then I am a big fan of really just having a green smoothie or setting yourself up for the right fuel. Eating breakfast, if you are someone who isn't doing intermittent fasting, although maybe you are, but just figuring out what's really the right fuel for you. It may be breakfast, or, it may be just making sure that you get all those good foods in during the day when it's really serving you.
Yeah, and I think, Mariza, this is one of the biggest questions we get from clients is what to eat for breakfast, because they know they shouldn't maybe be eating like skim milk and cereal or, coffee and yogurt, but they don't know what to eat. So I actually have a good amount of YouTube videos, how to make a chia porridge, or I have a couple on how to make a smoothie. I personally can't eat eggs. I'm allergic. So I'm right there with you. I'm pretty limited on breakfast, but there's lots of things I eat for breakfast. I eat leftovers. It's okay to have savory things. I definitely make smoothies. I have like nuts and berries. I have coconut yogurt. So this is one that we could address more in the Q&A if anybody
Yeah.
has questions. Uh-oh.
So
Hormone
sugar,
hijackers.
we know. I know you know. We know. Sugar is definitely playing. It is not serving a lot of ways. And so, although I'm not saying to completely give up sugar, but just be really mindful of how much sugar you're consuming on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, and just notice what it does to you. I have a mixed blessing that I have because of my mold. I have a lot of candida in my body, and I have Epstein-Barr, so I react to sugar like bonkers. So I really just can't have it. I can't have alcohol hardly at all. And it doesn't mean I never will, but I get pretty quick feedback. So I just notice the feedback. And sometimes, unfortunately, with the menstrual cycle, you don't get that feedback for 28 days. That then your body tells you, girl, you are inflamed, things are off, you haven't been nourishing me. So really just keeping it up all month is important. This delicious slide.
Again, concerned with inflammation, concerned with leaky gut, and even concerned with autoimmunities, like Hashimoto's, fibromyalgia. Gluten can lend to a lot of issues. And it may not even be that you have got, celiacs or Crohn's or anything like that. Maybe, but just I would be mindful about paying attention to gluten. It may be worth giving it up for 30 days and just seeing how your body responds. I accidentally ate something last night with a little bit of gluten and my body responded instantly. And I don't know how. I wasn't paying attention. I was at someone else's house. We kind of talk about eating out at dinner, eating somewhere else. And it just slipped right past me. And within a couple of hours, I was like, whoa, like I knew immediately what had happened. I was not feeling well.
Yeah, definitely. If we want to get technical, it releases an enzyme that opens up those tight junctions in your gut. And that can cause a whole heap of problems to hormones and other things that you mentioned. But luckily nowadays there's so many alternatives, so it makes it easier.
Caffeine. So, and I will say, actually, I just did a podcast episode on this today. Like, does coffee negatively affect your adrenals? And in some cases, it absolutely does. It really depends on the person. It really depends on what's going on with you. I know for me, caffeine was a crutch, for many years, and I had to give it up. Today I'm able to drink caffeine, but not a lot of it, but some of it without causing any problems. And so it's really just figuring out for your body what's going on. But if you do find yourself with burnout, you're exhausted, you've got no energy reserves, most likely you're probably using caffeine as a crutch, and it's time to maybe, take a break from that.
Yeah, I think the trouble with caffeine that I noticed for myself is just its addictive nature. Like, probably having a really lovely espresso or whatever, like, isn't the worst thing if it's just occasional, but we just tend to like need rely on it because we got that pickup yesterday and we want that pickup again, so it kind of trains us when to use it. So yeah, cutting back or doing a cleanse I think is a great to kind of like reset if you're finding you're using caffeine every day.
And this is a no-brainer. So we just want to do our best to avoid chemically processed foods you can't pronounce. I find that if I can't pronounce what's on the label, probably should stay away from it. And a big recommendation is that just to avoid the aisles, if you can. A lot of the good stuff is in the perimeter of the store, or really just in the in the veggies and maybe even meat section of the store.
Veggies and meat, yeah, yeah. And it's so funny, I've been learning a lot about pesticides lately, and I've gotten so particular about about that. There's so much trouble you're getting into with processed food. You're getting something that's stripped of nutrients, so your body has to contribute its own stored nutrients to process it. So say you're taking a multivitamin, but you're eating processed food, a lot of that could be going towards dealing, processing this processed food that came in, but also all the residue from pesticide, which again can open up your leaky gut. Nowadays, like if I'm buying something for my son, for instance, and I see, gluten-free versus something that's gluten but organic, sometimes I'll choose the organic because I don't know what's in that, and I don't feel comfortable. So, knowledge is definitely power, and it helps you get away from this stuff. All right, getting into the oils, ladies. The time has come. I'm going to talk a little bit about what essential oils really are.
Yeah, and we can go through these pretty quickly. So essential oils are really what they break down to is natural aromatic constituents that are found in plants, and they are found in the leaves, stem, bark, flowers, seeds, name it, roots. And then we are able to carefully distill them and extract it for their health benefits. They are 50 to 70 times more powerful than dried herbs, and actually in some instances even more than that, up to like 90% more powerful than their dried herb counterpart. So we get a lot of bang for our buck. And they contain dozens of unique metabolites and constituents inside that really work with our body's cellular chemistry to really create really powerful changes and to create a lot of balance in the body. The other thing that I really love about oils is, one, they're adaptive. So they're adaptogenic in the sense that they work with our body's chemistry to get what we need. And we don't build up a resistance. And we tend to metabolize oils, like put them to use within 2 to 3 hours of usage, which is really important to me because that's not always the case of synthetic medications or synthetics in general. Oftentimes they'll stay in the system. So it's really nice to see that the body is treating metabolites that come from essential oils very similarly to something that is very beneficial to the body, like an antioxidant or a vitamin and mineral.
Yeah, and I think people might have questions because there's some like kind of false information about oils and the dangers. So if people have any questions that they need to clear up, we can get to that. Did I skip that one too for this?
No, I hit them all.
Okay, you hit all of them. Okay. I like this one. So let's talk about this word.
Absolutely. So as I mentioned just a second ago, you think about, I don't know if you guys know a lot about adaptogenic herbs, but like rhodiola, ashwagandha, those are two of my favorite, holy basil. And what's so great about them is that they go into our body. They really help us to combat stress. They're wonderful for helping to support emotional well-being. And the same thing with oils. When we put oil into the system, either topically or aromatically, or even maybe internally, which we'll get into in a moment, your body is really taking on that information, all of those dozens of metabolites, and making decisions about what to do with them. And so sometimes your body may need them for the liver, or may need them for your skin, or may need them for the brain. And so we're seeing that these oils are really being put to work based on the body's needs. So very similar to how we treat nutrition.
And would you say all oils are adaptogenic?
Mm-hmm. All oils are adaptogenic.
That's really awesome. Really good to know. So I know Mariza and I are using up oils all day. We can maybe give some examples of ones we use today, but here's like the ways to use them.
Yeah. So you can, if you want to lead on, my dear, you can. Clearly I could just talk about all the ways to use oils.
Yeah, here, I'll just show these few slides. So basically how you can interact with them is to smell them like straight out of the bottle, like in this picture, or through a diffuser, or putting it on a tissue or on your wrist and smelling it in your hands. What is it, 60% absorbs through your skin? Is that correct?
Yeah, about 60%, give or take, depending on, so here's my little diffuser. I've got a diffuser in every house. If we're using a carrier oil, there's a better chance of the oils getting into the tissue.
Gotcha.
But if they're neat, so neat is straight out of the bottle. Like if I were to take, let's say I had a Serenity and it's straight out of the bottle, it's all neat oils, so all pure concentration. The oils, they are volatile, so that means that they will evaporate without a carrier oil on them. So that's why I always love diluting topically, because you get more bang for your buck that way.
Okay. And then lastly is internally, which is the most debated.
Yeah.
But I mostly do, if I'm going to do internally, it'll be kind of licking in oil, or I call it dabbing it in my mouth. So if I have a bottle I'm not sharing, I just dab a drop right on my tongue. And I mostly do this with DigestZen, which I'm really finding to be a very powerful, like, digestive tonic if I use it with every meal, or you can certainly use it if you have an upset stomach. This is showing using on guard for cold and flu season. I definitely dab on my tongue Slim and Sassy, that we'll talk about later, to just help me with food cravings. I know some people use them a lot more internally. I tend to use them aromatically and topically the most. Like before this webinar, I actually put on 2 different oils just to like give me some energy and give me like a boost of confidence. So I put them on myself and I'm smelling them. But really, yeah, all day long, you can use oils to balance hormones and for beauty, for just like little symptoms that come up throughout the day. Um, let's see. Do you want to talk about any examples or just kind of move on to the protocols, Mariza?
Well, let's get into the protocols. I know I have some examples once we get in.
Okay.
So
So,
yeah.
Joe, I just want to say you will get these slides, so don't worry if you're like, "Oh, I wanted to write that down." You'll get it.
Oh, good, good, good. So remember we talked about the Charlie's Angels, right? That when they are together, working together, man, nothing, they're unstoppable. And a big part of that crew is cortisol. And we know that cortisol, its purpose again is to help keep our bodies functioning during moments of survival or helping to mitigate the immune system. It also is involved in digestion. I mean, there's a lot of things that cortisol does. However, we know that in our fast-paced life, things can get a little out of hand and cortisol can be overused in the body. Your body is, it's not really adapting to the environment that we're living in today. So it's kind of acting a little old school in the sense that, back in the day, there were dangers, there were physical dangers out there, and your body needed to be hardwired to manage those dangers in our fight or flight mode. And so what we're learning is that, now today, there aren't tigers or bears or whatever. And now it's deadlines and traffic and the text message from your friend that totally throws you into a spiral. Like those are the things that are setting us off and setting us into these triggers. And so how do we begin to mitigate this, right? When this happens consistently throughout the day. And I think that one of the best ways that we can really lower cortisol levels and really get our stress under control is with the use of essential oils. And there's a lot of research that demonstrates this. And so I wanted to share my go-to anti-stress blend. And I diffuse this oil. I put it into a little roller bottle. And it's a combination of lavender, bergamot, and ylang-ylang. And in a diffuser, I usually do 3 drops of each. In a roller, like a 10 ml roller, 20 drops of each. And then I roll it on my wrist. I roll it on my temples. I roll it out behind my neck. But other calming blends that doTERRA does a marvelous job is Whisper, which is one of my go-to stress and hormone oils. Balance, which is the stress reset, Serenity for anxiety and insomnia, Claricom for hormones, and then mood boosting blends like Balance, Bergamot, Citrus Bliss, and Elevation. And all of these oils are literally constructed to help lower cortisol levels, lower stress levels, and really get you back to a state of calm and relaxation.
Yeah, it's amazing. You shared a study with me about how quickly it lowers cortisol, and I was sharing some oils with my neighbor the other day, and I was like, okay, well, just smell the oil, and I'm like, what are you feeling? And she's like, I feel a little euphoric. I'm like, yeah, that was the balance oil actually, and it really can create a shift quickly, which I personally find hard to do on my own with my own like Zen powers. They're lagging sometimes, and I just need like that little help to calm me down. And I think over time you find the blends that are your favorites, and it changes with time. So right now I love Serenity, like day or bedtime, to calm me. I love Citrus Bliss to pick me up. And then yeah, I make probably some of my own little concoctions as needed as well if I need more grounding. I love cedarwood. I love basil. Um, and you don't, some of you listening may be more experienced and have tried a bunch of these, and some just starting out. And you don't need everything starting out. Just try a few, which is what we'll talk about later. I get questions on this all the time. What about thyroid? So talk about thyroid, Mariza, please.
Absolutely. So what I wanted to do in this particular slide was really give you what I consider to be a fully comprehensive thyroid protocol. And what's important here is that I want to just put out the disclaimer is that, oils don't cure thyroid. And honestly, medications don't cure thyroid issues either. Medications are just managing and making sure that your T4 and T3 are flowing properly. And so, when you're getting to the core root of what's going on with the thyroid, I think, a holistic, comprehensive approach is really important. So these are the things that I have seen create major benefit for women that I have worked with over the years. And so one of the things that doTERRA carries with them is this daily nutrient pack. It's called their Lifelong Vitality Pack. And it really does have all of the key nutrients that the thyroid needs to function. And that your body needs to function as well. It has amazing omegas, omega-3 fatty acids, and essential oils are built into it, along with a really powerful antioxidant blend. And really that trio has been the game change for me, the game change for my mom and so many other women. It's the first thing I put anyone on when they're dealing with thyroid issues because the trio is so comprehensive. And then we have a blend. Yeah.
Sorry, and we're going to talk about that later because that's actually kind of like a free gift next month. So
it is. It's an amazing free gift because, girl, I buy those every month. So I know how much I would be saving as a free gift. Next is DDR Prime, and DDR Prime is a very special proprietary blend that doTERRA has created. It's very powerful. It's a combination of summer savory, clove, lemongrass, I'm going to say myrrh, frankincense, and it's specifically a DNA repair essential oil blend. It's been researched a lot with cancer, autoimmune disease, and it's just a really, really profound and amazing repair blend. So I always have that on the list as well. Then, it's important to be looking at food sensitivities, and it's important to look at our lifestyle because, again, so much about supporting our thyroid has to do with the way that we live our life, what we're putting into our bodies. And then lastly, the oils that have been most researched on the thyroid are clove, myrrh, lemongrass, and frankincense. And so I actually have a blend. I have my thyroid blend that we've used for years now inside of the Smart Mom's Guide to Essential Oil book. And it really just is those oils right there. I'm trying to think about, I don't have it memorized, but
well,
usually
we are going to give the book is like one of our giveaways. So that can be helpful too.
Yes.
Is it in your hormone rescue protocol or not?
It is also in the hormone rescue protocol. Yeah,
okay,
absolutely.
That comes as well. So we'll talk about that. Yeah, I know thyroid's a big topic, but I don't want to linger there too long because it's too big.
It is too big.
And this one I think is even bigger. It's, maybe not as sexy or talked about as thyroid, but I don't think there's a woman who crosses, our path as a client who gets hormone testing who doesn't have low progesterone.
Low progesterone is the unsung hero.
Yeah.
It really is. I mean, gosh, without progesterone, I swear I would not be sitting here. Well, none of us would be, but I have had low progesterone multiple times and have felt so many of these symptoms that are listed here.
Yeah. So we'll move on and talk about, I don't know the audience listening if it's a, still cycling or not. But PMS definitely is a big problem, even, pretty young nowadays into, in the 20s. But even the gaps you're 52, if you're still cycling, sometimes you're definitely in this roller coaster of estrogen dominance because as your ovaries age, you just aren't making progesterone. I mean, by age 52, for example, you're making very little through your ovaries. And even if you bleed sometimes, it doesn't really mean you had a ovulation and a proper cycle. So it can be confusing. You think, oh, I'm still bleeding, so I'm still making hormones, but you're not making as many hormones and definitely not in the right ratio anymore. So it's a big problem for older women as well until you really finally stop cycling, and then it sort of shifts into another scenario. So talk about these protocols, Mariza.
Yeah, so in my own personal experience, and this is what I was working on with my mom as well, progesterone was significantly low. And what we found, one of the things I wanted to reestablish, because oftentimes when I was talking to women, not only did they feel very anxious, but they felt low energy. So the Mito2Max supplement, that is one of my go-to supplements for increasing mitochondrial function and lowering stress levels because of the ashwagandha and the adaptogenic herbs that are in there. Clary Calm, so Clary Calm, I've had the most benefit with really helping to boost progesterone levels and helping to ease, not even just PMS, but ease hot flashes. This has been like my hot flash blend, easing cramps, easing, a lot of the things, I would say mood support, cravings. This has been one of my go-to oils for really helping to create hormone synergy. But this has been one of the biggest game changers for women in perimenopause and menopause. I mean, my mom, still to this day, she is using this oil multiple times a day and wouldn't stop because it has become such a really powerful benefit to her. Next, Serenity. I find a lot of women who are dealing with progesterone issues are really struggling with sleep as well. So Serenity, I love for that and for the anxiety. Serenity is one of my go-to oils for anxiety. And then the Balance Blend, because again, progesterone is designed to help really relax the mind and calm the body. And when we don't have that as a cushion, the Balance Blend, you talk about that euphoric experience, but it is really powerful for creating homeostasis and for lowering stress levels.
And this on the right are the easy ingredients in the Clary Calm?
Yeah, so those are the ingredients in Clary Calm, which makes it so profound. So clary sage, bergamot, ylang-ylang, geranium, fennel, pomarosa, and then vitex, which is also known as chasteberry, which has been known to improve progesterone levels. But you look at the research on all of these oils individually, and so many of them point to better cognitive function, less brain fog, more stabilized mood, less hot flashes, less stress levels, stabilizing cortisol levels. And so a lot of that's playing a role in how our progesterone is functioning in the body.
Yeah, that's pretty rare to find that in oil too. So it's pretty cool. So I think that high estrogen gets all the blame, and it can be high on its own from different reasons. But usually, I find it's often low, but progesterone is lower. So you may be seeing yourself in some of these low estrogen symptoms and be surprised to hear of it. We do need estrogen for, like it says, to put calcium in the bones and just feel like a woman and feel like your skin looks full and you want to have sex and you're moist in the right places. So having not enough estrogen is also an issue. And this is a great visual, Mariza, about the high estrogen. I often do see that in these very heavy periods with clots. The breasts are swelling. The breasts seem to be endlessly growing. The breasts are lumpy. So I think you demonstrated the signs and symptoms well there.
Yeah, it is. And I know, and the thing about it was so interesting is that we could have low estrogen, but still have estrogen dominance, right? Dominating over other hormones in the body, particularly progesterone. And so just be like Bridget said, super important that you may find yourself in both boxes. And that is totally understandable. And thank goodness we have some tricks up our sleeve for this.
Yeah, and especially like I said, in perimenopause, like in your 40s, oh boy, you're gonna go up and down with this estrogen because your body is trying to stay in its reproductive years as long as it can. So sometimes it pushes the ovaries really hard, and you do release more estrogen, which if the month before you were low can feel like a lot. I mean, I'm 43 and I'm fully like going through this. And a lot of times people say, oh, well, you're too young for that. No, I'm not too young for that, especially because I have a lot of extra factors like mold in my body. And it's hard to find this balance when I'm dealing with other things. But yeah, don't think it's only for when you're, over 50. It's definitely coming at you.
And this is really my protocol for balancing estrogen. So doTERRA does a really marvelous job at creating a phytoestrogen complex. And that is using plant-based estrogens to help create, fill in the gaps where we may be low in estrogen, but also help mitigate some of that estrogen dominance that we may be getting from our toxic environment. Clary Calm, again, phenomenal at helping to balance estrogen levels, overcome those hot flashes, breast tenderness, low libido, a lot of the things that we're seeing there. Balance is great for, again, for stress mitigation. Peppermint as a hot flash rescue while you're working through those hot flashes, because they don't go away overnight, but they go away pretty quickly. I've always been amazed at how quickly the hot flashes go away. And then the Whisper blend is one of my go-to oils for boosting libido, for helping with the emotional aspect of hormones not working properly. And it's one of my go-tos for brain fog as well.
That's really interesting. I mean, that's where we're getting really like the expert advice from you, because I never would have known that that one. So that's pretty awesome. And I have a question about this phytoestrogen complex. So
Yeah.
is it either you're low or high? It's still beneficial?
Yep, low or high. So it really just, it's kind of filling in the gaps of in the beta cells specifically, and in our beta cells inside of our fat, and then our beta cells inside of our adrenals. And so what we found with research is that it really can just create balance depending on where you're at.
Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. Okay. Okay, phytoestrogens. Sometimes they get a bad rap, to be honest.
It's interesting. There's a little bit of conflicting research, but the more and more we look at it, the more and more we're finding that plant-based estrogens are so gentle on our bodies. I have a good friend we both have a good friend, Dr. Veronique Desaulniers, and we did a big discussion on this the other day on phytoestrogens and her research with breast cancer. And just in general, like she's like, I recommend phytoestrogens every day to my breast cancer patients, my breast cancer survivors, because it's one of the ways that we really do kind of ease out those symptoms without any concern around cancer, any concern around cardiovascular disease. And it was really fascinating to get that, not only my own research, but her validation, where I know she's done so much research in that department. Yeah. And so, we get a lot of our phytoestrogens from food, but you do have to eat a lot of these foods, as you can imagine, to get those benefits. And so when it comes to a good phytoestrogen, not that you can't add these foods into your diet, but if indeed you're looking for that big change, then you're going to want to take the actual supplement.
Yeah. I love that these foods, look what they have in common. Well, they have fiber. Many of them have good fats. They have phytonutrients with all the colors. The sesame and sunflower. Someone asked earlier about what can they do besides seed cycling. That is part of the seed cycling protocol. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
And then this is what the blend is made up of. Okay. So genistein is really the key phytoestrogen here. It's an isoflavone, and it's a pure, organic, amazing source of this. Then it has flaxseed ligands, which, as we know, help the body metabolize excess estrogen, like toxic estrogen, xenoestrogen. And then pomegranate extract, which is also what we know really helps aid in reduction of menopause symptoms such as hot flashes, low libido, and brain fog.
Cool.
And so then again, we have,
just a reminder that you'll get these slides, so don't worry that you have to write it all down right now, but you're welcome to.
So these are the protocols that I have been using for many, many years now with great success. And I just wanted to compile them for everybody, just so you guys had them. And so hot flashes, this has been I can't tell you how many thousands of women I've treated with hot flashes. And this combo right here has been the ticket. So peppermint oil and a spritzer. I even have an amazing hot flash blend inside of my Smart Mom's Guide. I've gotten so many compliments on that blend because it works. The phytoestrogen, balance for reducing stress levels, because that can definitely trigger hot flashes. And then Clary Calm. And if I had to really narrow it down to three, it would be the peppermint, the phytoestrogen, and the Clary Calm. But if you stick to that routine, that protocol for 30 to 60 days, you're going to find, I would say a good 90% of your hot flashes will be gone. They'll dissipate. Next is libido. So, again, libido has a lot to do with estrogen balance and testosterone as well. So I do recommend the phytoestrogen. Ylang-ylang is one of those oils that, man, it finds the secret magic in that intimacy. And you can apply that, on your thighs, on the bottom of your feet. My mom, she has this statement that she always says, put ylang-ylang on your ylang-ylang. You don't have to do that, but she cracks me up. That was one of the biggest things she was so afraid to lose. She practically lost when she was on her bioidenticals, was her libido. And when she found out about ylang-ylang, she was all over that. So Whisper is a great oil as well for libido. We talked about that. A lot of those oils, those really oils that really kind of help create that intimacy, are in the Whisper, including chocolate, cinnamon, jasmine, and rose. That blend is so delectable, and it acts as a natural aphrodisiac. So it's really beautiful. That's the one thing I always tell people about the Whisper blend is somebody may come up and be like, oh my gosh, what are you wearing? And I've had it happen. And my mom and so many women have had it happen. People are just really attracted to that blend because it does something emotionally for people. Not a negative way. No one's going to jump you because you're wearing Whisper, but it's really interesting how it elicits really positive responses from people. And then we have talked about the Clary Calm oil. I mean, this is an absolute must have blend. I mean, I wear it. I use it every single day. Fatigue, working, if it is hormone imbalance, if it is menopause or perimenopause, I still am mindful about the phytoestrogen, Max for the sustainable energy, Whisper, and then again for that mental fatigue, I do love the Whisper. And then mood swings. Again, you're going to find, it's a beautiful thing about essential oils is emotional well-being and emotional stability are so beautifully created when you're using these oils. And so these are just some of my favorites. I know we've already mentioned them. And I know, Bridget, some of these are your favorites as well, the Serenity and Balance.
Yeah. And we'll kind of sum these up in a little bit. Maybe Mariza just cover some of the ones that we haven't talked about as much yet.
So cravings, if you are concerned about cravings, Slim and Sassy is my go-to oil for cravings. It will knock out sugar cravings, salty, snacky cravings, whatever you're dealing with, that is the oil. And so like Bridget had said, just like dabbing it on your finger, in your tongue, or breathing it in a couple drops will really get the job done there. If you're worried about weight loss, I do love Slim and Sassy and lemon oil, adding it to a capsule or maybe adding it to your water. And then the Clary Calm too, if it's connected to hormones. And then for osteoporosis, we do have, there's a lot of wonderful products that doTERRA carries. The phytoestrogen, the women's bone nutrient. Clearly, we talked about the Lifelong Vitality Pack. Those are all big, wonderful supplements for really ensuring that your bones are getting great support.
Yeah, this is interesting. I wouldn't have thought of some of these, so really glad to have you on to share this. So here's your mom again, who looks like she's younger than me, so that's nice.
This is my mama. So, she has since then, she's ran over 50 marathons and half marathons. She's an avid tennis player. This was her finishing a Tinkerbell marathon about a year and a half ago, I want to say. And so these are the oils this is basically the protocol we put my mom off. So took her off the bioidenticals, put her on all of this, and it just saw massive shifts in her emotional well-being, her physical changes had happened. Again, the weight loss was a big deal, her being able to sleep, and just energy. She needed more energy to get through her day. So the Clary Calm was 3 to 4 times a day. Peppermint was in a spritzer. She used it for headaches, energy, muscle pain, hot flashes. Hot flashes were gone within 3 to 4 months because she was having several of them a day. The balance for stress, because that was a big issue as well. It always had been an issue for her. Serenity for sleep and mental chatter, so she could get a good night's sleep. Whisper for boosting libido, although she does love a ylang-ylang. And then Slim and Sassy and lemon, because my mom is addicted to sugar and specifically chocolate. So we had to figure out how we could get chocolate out of her hands. And Slim and Sassy and lemon in her water were the kicker. That was really what got her through that. And then we have the supplements as well, I think.
Okay.
So we had her on supplements. She is still to this day, she's taking the Max, the phytoestrogen, and the daily nutrient pack. And then again, she had a breakup with sodas. No more gluten, no more sugar. We had to cut her out from all those things. I knew it was just, weight was coming on so fast. We added green smoothies with healthy fats, proteins, and lots of raw veggies, water infusions. We had healthy meals at home. And then she took healthy snacks for work because she worked really long days. That was really a big part of what we did. But the oils were really the game change for her and more than anything.
All I can say is I hope this was before the marathon because she looks like...
No, this is after.
Shut up. Are you kidding?
This is an after a marathon picture. Only my mom could finish a marathon and look like that.
No, there's no way.
I'm telling you. I can tell because her hair is all toused. She's got that red. No, she always takes these pictures after the marathon.
That is so funny. It's too much. And I just want to say, I think this example, I mean, I don't know your mom, but I think it's really important to see the women in our lives who are growing older and still looking good and active, because sometimes we say, oh, well, I'm just, there's other people who are very negative. Oh, it's just the way it is. You're aging. but it's really not true. It's the fact of it.
Look at her. Oh my gosh. I
Yeah.
was with her yesterday, her and my sister, and everyone was like, oh, she loves it. She just eats it up. But everyone's like, oh my God, that's no way. That's your mother. That's not your daughter. And she is just like
She loves
giggling the
it.
whole
Yeah.
time. Oh my gosh.
Okay, so we're going to share some hormone kits we have with you today, or one hormone kit. So if you came for whatever reasons you came, we probably were looking for answers. Um,
Yeah, so much of why we think you showed up is that you're tired of trying to figure out what's going on with your body, receiving failed recommendations. We've been there and really not getting the answers that you deserve. And I know that exhausting place. I've been there, I've been in your shoes. Another reason why you probably showed up was that you want more of what you love. We deserve to create our dreams with joy, energy, balance, all the things that make us feel good, and less of what's killing us, right? When we're desperately just trying to keep up with everything that we've got on our plate. And lastly, why you showed up specifically is deep down in your heart of hearts, you know that you have the ability to heal your body, or at least I hope that you believe that, and that you're ready to rescue your hormones with the right tool sets and guidance. And we are super excited to be a part of that journey with you.
Yeah, and I really want to emphasize the we, because like when you become a customer of doTERRA, you're a customer of ours directly, and you get all our brain power. We've been collectively, for the two of us, studying hormones, 25 years, so we know a lot. And we have a lot of great resources and support. So it's really, really wonderful. And Mariza might not know what we're getting into yet, because I put together a special kit for you guys, because I really want you to have some of the foundational things we talked about without overwhelming you or without bringing the price up too high. So I created this kit that has 5 of the oils that we discussed, and I have a kind of a plan so you can get the other ones as well. But basically, we had created an order form so you can get these oils just really simply, just like putting in your name and credit card, and we'll kind of do the rest for you. And that gets you a doTERRA wholesale account, and this will all ship out to you. You'll probably receive it within 5 days. So pretty quick results to get your kit as soon as we get it processed. And this is what it would look like. So the Clarycom we talked about for balancing female hormones, the ylang-ylang. We talked a lot for sex drive, but I really say this is the oil that makes you feel like a queen. And many women don't feel like a queen. They feel like Cinderella, like before she went to the ball. They're overworked. And ylang-ylang is really like a very magical oil. It's also good for your skin and hair. So it's pretty diverse. Peppermint we talked about for energy boosting and for cravings, for hot flashes. So it's a really good one to have on hand. The balance is so nice for lowering cortisol, helping you sleep, helping you calm down. And the slim and sassy, I don't care if you're skinny or you're overweight. We all have cravings. So we all need a little help in this category. So I think it's just really great for just, again, like choosing those good choices for food as much as possible. And we have a whole heap of freebies as well. Mariza, do you want to talk about this is your hormone rescue protocol, so I definitely want you to talk about that. You really speak to all of these.
I mean, I think what's really important to me, and I know what's equally important to Bridget, is that you feel like you have a partner on this journey. And we want to set you up for success. When these oils came into my life, they changed everything. It was one of the biggest shifts that we had made in our family and for myself. I mean, and we're talking about my extended family, my grandparents who have cancer, my mom with hormone issues, my sister with all different types of kidney problems. I mean, this has become the thing. The oils have become such a major player in how we manage our healthcare in my extended family. And we want to make sure that you are getting that level of support from us as well. And so we wanted to make sure that we provided you with all of the things that you needed to create the ultimate success. So we've got our doTERRA Live Guide. And really, this is living the lifestyle, how to non-toxic solutions, oils for hormones, for mood. I mean, everything is in there. The essential oils, modern essentials guide. This guide has protocols for every condition under the sun. So if you just look it up in your book, and you'll be able to help your family. And then my hormone rescue protocol. So the things that I've been working, all the women that I've worked with over the years, the things that I have seen in my own health and the health of theirs, and really just surveying these women, working with these women for several months, I've created what I consider to be the ultimate protocol. And you'll find that there are oils in that protocol that are not necessarily in this kit, but at some point, if you want to get them, you will always have those protocols to lend to. And then you get customized consultations and really time with us as well. And so this is very much an amazing value. We have it valued at $130 because the consultation alone, spending time with us and spending time with our coaches is quite invaluable. We want to make sure that you are set up for the success that you deserve.
Yeah, I'm always willing to have a 15-minute free consult. I sometimes just getting people to get on the phone is the hard part because people are busy. But we also have online trainings as well. And I really want to emphasize this hormone rescue protocol, which Mariza literally sells for $49 on its own. It has recipes. It's like pretty amazing. And because I'm in a lucky place, I get to give you this as part of the kit. And I want to explain a little bit more about why I picked out this kit. So with all these bonuses, the kit would be $280. And I know I picked a really funny amount, which is $159.75. That's like the literal price that I need to pay to get you the kit. So there's like not even an extra penny towards it. And we'll send you an orange. I'm going to just say this for the next 24 hours because I know I already got someone emailing me from Slovenia where they do sell doTERRA, saying she couldn't make it. So I'll give 24 hours to get your wild orange as a bonus oil.
My favorite oil.
Yeah. So I'll send that personally in the mail with the other ones as long as you move on this. And then I wanted to share this kind of second offer, which is basically if you sign up this month in June with this kit that's $160, if you place another order for 100 points next month in July, then you get these 3 supplements. I think we've talked about all of them, and Mariza, I'll let you explain in a minute. So basically, my little thought process here is I'm going to keep the price down now on your initial kit. And if you're doing, you're reading the book, you want to print out these slides and circle other things you want, then place that order next month and you'll get 3 more goodies. So it's a pretty amazing deal. And everybody's a little different, right, with their case, whether it's thyroid, whether it's hot flashes. So I don't know your case, but I picked out 5 oils that I think are really foundational. Even if you have some oils at home, getting these oils lets you into our world, and we're very active with our education. And again, if you pick out, hey, well, I got my 5 oils and now I want to get a carrier oil, or I want to get the phytoestrogen, or whatever it is, pick out a few more things, place that order next month, and we can help you, and you'll get these 3 supplements. So Mariza, you want to describe these?
Absolutely. So, you think about this company being an essential oil company, and absolutely they are. But the number one product that they sell is this Lifelong Vitality Pack. And I've been taking the Lifelong Vitality Pack for about 5 years now, and we never leave home without it. We take them every single day. It comes with the Microplex VMZ is their multivitamin. The XE Omega is going to be their Omega blend with astaxanthin and essential oils. It's amazing. And then you've got the Alpha CRS, which is our pain and energy blend, which really can sub out for the Mito2 Max. But you can take this instead of Mito2 Max, which we talked about, for sustainable energy and decreasing inflammation. And this trio, oh my gosh, the research, the case studies, everything on this trio of essential oils or trio of supplements, it's just amazing for the cellular vitality, the energy, the brain focus power, the heart support, and reducing inflammation. I mean, it's everything that you would possibly want when it comes to a supplement pack. And like I said, it's been the game change for us. And it was one of the things that really, really moved the needle for my mom when we were working with her. And it's so amazing that they're giving this for free. Usually it retails for $106, and it's literally just going to be in that second order for you in the month of July.
Yeah, it's a really cool way, like if you wouldn't have tried it on your own, so to speak, to just get to try it by buying a few more things that you wanted anyway.
Absolutely. I mean, the great thing about it is like they're so confident that it's going to work for you that you're going to feel a difference. There's a money back. I mean, clearly you're getting it for free, but if you were to buy them, there's literally a money back guarantee. But you're getting these for free, which is such an awesome thing. Like I have personally never had them for free, but they're worth every single penny.
That's really
We
funny.
buy
Yeah,
them
and
every month.
certainly the
So,
fish oil and the micronutrients are so important also for your hormonal health. I'm like about to get my cycle, and already twice today I've had like 2 tablespoons of fish oil and 2 glasses of magnesium powder drink. So like this is the stuff that changes things for your hormones. So pretty cool.
mm-hmm.
So if you decide to do again order in July, I'm going to send you Mariza's book, she's got a few books, but The Smart Mom's Guide to Essential Oils. It has that thyroid recipe. It's got cleaning recipes. So I'll just send that baby to you. If you need any help placing that order, let me know, but we'll be keeping an eye on you and supporting you. I'll share when you get a follow-up email, I'll share, how to schedule with me if you need help. But again, if you order, we'll be keeping an eye on you and supporting you. So yeah, here's some of the results, which is, really what we all want.
Absolutely. I mean, freedom, isn't that what we all want? This is what I was looking for when I found myself crawling on the floor to get to the office. Hormone synergy. So you're, at home in your body again, control over your health, a powerful daily routine and framework for ongoing healthy habits, because that's really what it's about. And then an emergency toolkit for the unexpected, because so many of these oils, they do multiple tasks. I think of peppermint alone. We use peppermint for everything. My goodness. And so it's just so nice that you're going to have these oils and then they're going to have all these other benefits. One of the things we didn't mention about ylang-ylang is it's a heart oil. It literally supports your a healthy heart. So it's so excited to get that oil into your hands.
Oh, that's really interesting. Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know that. So here's the URL, and I will share this. Let me see if I can. I'll share this. Whoops, also in the chat because it's hard to click on stuff. It's hard to copy it, but it's tinyurl.com/hormones now. And then I just made a form. So you'll go to this site, and then you'll get a form to just fill in your demographic information, and we'll take care of the order for you. And then you'll just get a notification that the order was placed, that we're sending your gifts. So making it really easy. And again, that's the link. And I'll cut out of the slides in a second here and share that link. So again, yeah, a big thank you from both of us. Your time is super valuable, and we really appreciate you spending time with us, whether you were here live or you were watching later. Really, really appreciate it. And we really love to have you as part of our community. Again, even if you have some oils, come be part of our community because we're really growing and we have so many resources for you. So, it's definitely different because we're really treating you like family here. So let's do some questions. I'm going to get out of these slides, and we may have brought up
Post that
some.
link. Yeah. Let's take a look. So if you have any questions, let's take a look. I'm just looking. So someone asked Yvette, so does this work if you are taking bioidentical hormones, or is this instead of? Blood work shows that I have no estrogen or progesterone, testosterone. Yeah. So you can absolutely begin to use this kit while you're still on bioidentical hormones. Indeed, if you start to really feel shifts and changes, the beautiful thing is you can potentially move away from those. I mean, you get to choose into that. I've had women use this kit while they're on hormones. I've had women use this kit instead of hormones. I've had women use this kit so that they don't have to take hormones anymore. It really just depends on what your body's doing and what you're looking for. But those have been my experiences. And I just want you to know that they are going to work even if you are choosing to stay on those bioidenticals.
Perfect. Jeanette's asking, how do you use these? Jeanette, are you maybe just how do you use the oils in your own life, perhaps?
And also, Jeanette, note that we do have, that's the one thing we're going to give you is exactly how we want you to use them. So I give a lot of recommendations inside the protocol. Now, mind you, are there other ways to use these oils? Absolutely. And we are going to be giving you a ton of guides and information, and then you get a consultation call as well, so that we get to share all the unique ways to use ylang-ylang or peppermint, right? Because peppermint, you're like, well, I don't even have hot flashes, but I'd love to know what other benefits peppermint brings to the table. I get neck tension, I get headaches, I have a knee that bothers me every now and again, or I get allergies. Guess what? Peppermint is great for all of those things.
Yeah, I'm going to try to pull up the guide that you'll get just so you can take a perusal of it. And Jeanette asked, this is a great question. What if you're postmenopausal? Because we mostly talked about kind of that perimenopausal. So how do things differ, Mariza?
A lot of the women who've bought these oils in the past usually are postmenopausal. That was an
Oh,
interesting,
interesting. Okay.
yeah. So most of the women, and they've had great success with that. I mean, I've met women who are still having hot flashes in their 60s, right? A lot of those menopausal symptoms are still happening. And again, I think about, well, what is the kind of quality of the body that you want? And that's really what we're getting to. I've been using these oils for 5 years. I plan on using them for many, 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 many years after.
Yeah, and Mariza looks like a baby, but like, like she's not a baby. She's still kind of a baby, but she looks amazing. Like, there really goes to show, like, I think beauty is really comes from health primarily. We can wear makeup or dress up, but really, like, a healthy person is a beautiful person. So yeah, whether or not you like to wear makeup or not, like, it really keeps that glow going for you. Um, yeah, feel free to ask more questions in the chat. I think I'll share that guide just so people can see it a little bit more, because it's pretty awesome. So yeah, remember, if you'd like to get this with the oil, please do it in the next 24 hours just so I can keep track of y'all. And we'll get it all out to you really, really quickly.
Well, and they're going to love that wild orange. Oh it's my favorite. That oil is just pure, just happy, yummy sunshine in a bottle. I use that oil every single day, as I've got all my oils out right now.
And here's a guide that you're going to get. It's really beautiful. And again, Mariza, she coaches a lot of doTERRA representatives, so they just buy this guide. It really has value. It's going to give you some recipes and how to use your oils. And then if you want to add a few more oils that you didn't get yet, like the lemon oil or the phytoestrogen, you can add it. So just kind of quickly going over that. And then there's like the medicine cabinet you have in here too, like, okay, what if I'm having some pain and I want to avoid toxins, or if I have a cold and I want to avoid toxins? So important. And then all the recipes and meal tips, getting your protein, eating more often. I love it. There's tons of great tips in here for a plant-based diet. Not that it's all plants, but you gotta remember
Plant
you are
focused.
plants.
Plant focused.
Yeah. Great. Well, I don't see any more questions, but I will be following up. If you came late or you want to see the slides again, I'll follow up with email probably tonight. Worst case scenario would be tomorrow morning if there's any delay. We really, again, appreciate you guys being on here, you ladies being on here. There might be one or two men circling around on here. Any last questions? I don't see any. Mariza, thank you so much for your time and your expertise.
Thank you so much, Bridget, for having me. And thank you so much, ladies, for showing up. I hope you gained a lot of information and good guidance. And we can't wait to serve you moving forward.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Danielle. Thanks, Dion.